Johnny, Johnny.
Yes, Papa.
Eating sugar.
No, Papa.
Telling lies.
No, Papa.
Open your mouth.
Wow, spicy meat.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Sorry, Mazzy. Hold on. My bad. Unmute yourself.
I mean, I know.
Presenting, and I hid you.
I know that.
My bad.
I know that there's a background change, but damn, son, you didn't have to e-verify me twice. Welcome to tonight's Plumes of Hazard. I am Mask9, and these are my co-hosts, Fubaka and the Angstful Vapor, Slants of Arts.
Slajaba, everyone.
Welcome.
Welcome. So I had seen. By the way, that video came courtesy of Mr. Craig from the old England that we used to hang out with quite a bit. I haven't seen him in a while, Mr. Craig. But he shot me that link, and I was just watching him, like, okay, weird kid show. Oh shit!
Got him.
Yeah, no, it got me. I've seen it like 3 times. It's made me laugh every time.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I'm in chat as Plumes of Hazard. But
oh dear. That's okay. Boker's pretty good. We've been talking to catch those up that are watching this as a VOD and don't have the chat open. We've been talking about pocket knives for a little while. I put forward that I'm a fan of the Spyderco. At least I was historically, like from high school. It was like the nicest knife that I could afford at high school, and ended up just loving the knife and the company. And I bought multiple over the years, but I carried them many years. It's great. And if you can't even afford their regular line, their Bird line, BYRD, are made in China or something as opposed to over here, but they still seem to be pretty cool, and they're really inexpensive. I mean, obviously the steel's not as good, but ain't bad.
I still love my
You're not cutting up gears and shit.
The Boker, that super light one that I got. That
You know,
awesome.
that's been sitting over there in my tray forever. I don't carry it these days.
I carry that everywhere, man. It's
I do
awesome.
like that thing.
Between that and the Spyderco, the Dragonfly or whatever it was, the other one you said.
Yeah, the Dragonfly.
Both of them things are awesome.
Little bitty tiny guys, and they're cheap and they work well.
Well, cheap when it comes to a knife guy. Cheap.
Oh, well, yeah, they're basically free compared to this.
The Boker was like $60-$70.
Yeah.
Boker sounds like what a certain Long Island accent would say in Boca, and like Boca Raton, they say Boker.
Right.
Boker.
The problem is, Masty, I got that right before I got the my Graham GT, and since this thing is light and it's a full size blade, like it just never made any sense to carry anything else. I freaking love this thing. I carry this everywhere. I have not been carrying the full size one since, because this thing, well, to be honest, is kind of a short sword. Even though I carried it for like a decade, I do like this guy, but this one's so much more light and less alarming to people when I have to use this.
Yeah. So there's I know somebody was talking about the Boker. Here's my Boker. Anksy's shown it before too. And that thing is awesome. I mean, I hand it to people and they're like, "What? That's a knife?"
Yeah.
Yes. It's so light. I mean, you put it. The only complaint I had about this, and you had the same issue, was with the clip.
Yep.
If you extend it too much, you got to push it back down. But you find a happy medium.
But when it came, it wouldn't even go on a pair of jeans when I got it.
Yeah, it was so tight. Yeah, and the lock on this is really good.
Yeah.
So, and then the Spyderco is the Dragonfly 2, and that's this guy here.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this sucker is sharp.
Yeah.
So, There you
They
go.
do take a good. They do take a good age.
I can show them because I know where they're at because I just moved them.
Yeah, you got your new digs.
I do. This is the new Mass Brass 09 location. Moved to the front of the house, so we're no longer in the back of the house. And yeah, and I actually have my own station over there now where I can do some mods. So I don't have it taking up my.
But how are you going to do
desk.
tech time then?
Over there? There'll be a camera over there.
Yeah.
Wait, what's tech time?
It's been a minute.
Got him. So speaking of, we have got for everyone watching tonight a special treat. We are going to give you guys a rundown of the craziness that's been happening over in the Reddit electronic cigarette subreddit. Some crazy shit happened yesterday. It's been going on for a few weeks. And yeah, stay tuned because we have screenshots. We have, I mean, it's nuts. So more.
Once after you're done with tech time, you can go to your home, your little house.
That's actually my new house right there. That's right there. I don't have the flagpole got snapped by one of the dogs. So
That's where Mass goes and sits when I mute him and he leaves.
Masty, you bought that one like yourself. I bought that one direct from VapeMats, which is also blade art, by the way. I bought that from Uncle Larry at a showcase in Dallas, I think. So
Yeah,
I didn't buy it, so I don't remember what it's called. Do you remember offhand what it's called?
I thought you were talking about the house.
No, that little knife, the little poker.
Yeah, this is the oh my goodness. I thought it was shit. Now I don't. I tell you right now. Didn't say it on the. I know it's got a number on it because of the size of the type of the steel.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I'll tell you.
Did Horror just answer that question? Booker Plus 1769 440C.
It is a plus.
Mm-hmm.
It is the. Well, maybe now I can't find it. But I know I got it after you had gotten yours.
Yeah. I was like, I don't have a way of looking it up because I bought it.
It's called the 01B0729 Pelican knife with 1.9 inch blade.
There you go.
Poker Plus. So I will put the Amazon link, which is now down to $57, in side chat if anyone is interested.
Make sure to put your referral link there.
No referral link. donate your money.
Yeah. So we do have that. We've also got I've got a couple little things I'd like to talk about. But before we get to do that, Foo, what you pay for that?
I'm drinking first.
What are you drinking? That chocolate milk
And peanut butter powder.
It's chocolate milk and what?
Peanut butter powder.
Peanut butter powder. I think it said peanut butter cracker. I was like,
peanut butter cracker?
I just thought you were throwing around a little spiciness.
That's a little frozen.
Is it Ovaltine?
I don't fuck around.
Got a boy.
Anyway, with this delectable beverage, I have my limo with limeade and bedding. Well, actually, I last filled my squonk bottle with limeade and bedding, but I've been doing some limeade and piss in the last few days.
Yeah.
That's that good. What about you?
For me, this week I've shifted gears. I have been running my Gloom for a little while, my Limelight Gloom with the RAM board in it. But I shifted gears and went with the Bliss these last couple of days, and I have been running it with my Haku Vena with a bell cap and an open tip and rail crackers, of course, inside. From Derailment Vape Co. See, I got it that time. Did I get it that time? I think I got it that time.
You got it that time.
Nice. And then today, I've actually busted out the old Clunkmaster 5000 because I've been doing a little testing. We'll talk about this in a little bit too. There is Railcracker in here as well, but we'll talk about that in a minute. And last but not least, the thing that usually goes with me everywhere is my billet box. It's the Royal Purple Gray billet box with a exoset inside, and of course, abolishment. I had to burp there. Sorry. Abolishment.
All right, there, Green.
Hmm?
Is that right there, Green?
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
What's in the news, Angsty?
It's Robin. Robin. So, Massey, what do you cloud up the front of your house with tonight?
I am not vaping tonight. I have a humidifier with some of this in it. I'm drinking some of this tonight too. So, yep, not feeling it.
You still have a cold?
No, this is definitely allergies. So the move uncovered a lot of dust, and so
you've been in that house for a minute, right? You've been in there for a while. Yeah. Basically, the problem is even though we don't have carpeting, as you can see, having 3 dogs, and man, I'm telling you what, like the surfaces. I've been using, with good luck, I've been using the, I think Pledge is the one that makes it. It's helps with the static on plastics, on electronics and stuff like that. And that helps a lot because before, I mean, it would just attract to everything. Like I could, and we have a vacuum that runs, we got a Nito that runs every day. It's actually right around the corner there. You can actually see there he is.
Right there. And that thing does awesome. It runs every day. Probably the only piece of,
what's it called again?
Called the Nito, Neato.
Nito.
Yep, and it's in the shape of the letter D, so you get the D every day. And basically,
hey, Otterbucks and a white guy named that thing.
Basically,
nasty.
But yeah, one for the dad jokes. So basically, it's in that shape. It can get into all the corners versus the Roomba, which has a brush like this long that goes at the sides and it's round. And unlike the Roomba, it actually knows where it's going. It's pretty cool. It's got LIDAR on the top, so it has a laser and it maps your room out, and it knows where it's going, so it can only covers the area once. But anyways, that runs every day. It does awesome. And but I don't know. As I wasn't allergic to anything, and as I get older, the dust is just like last week. I'm working on an ice cream cooler, and I turn it on from being off for a few days, and the fans come on full blast to do kind of like a post test, like a computer does, and the dust is just flying out of the back. I'm like, I just walked out of the room. I'm like, I'm not gonna be in here.
You remember that old gif of that guy that had his he took his computer case outside and they said it was a smoker or whatever, and he had his vacuum and his
he's blowing it. Yeah, that's exactly right. So and not only that, but I have started to notice. I mean, and we talked about this before, right? So you have your, like, example. I had I put this picture up of mods that I had on my desk. Okay. And
nice.
So those are things that I had on my desk. And Addies on there. I mean, that's how quickly, especially with central AC, you have a lot of air movement every day, how much dust you get deposited on everywhere. And even a small amount, over time, and even if you're dusting, it just doesn't matter. You gotta clean it up. So
I think foot traffic, true, but pets have a big part to play in that. Because my office, I never dust in here, and it's really not bad, like ever. Yeah. But it does. I mean, it does happen, right? I mean, the top of my router over here, it's got a little shmoo on it, but it's pretty negligible.
Yep. I vacuum down here usually like at the least every 10 days.
Yeah. So that vacuum runs every day, and it picks up, because it goes under the beds, it goes under cabinets, everything. It picks up a bin full every day, obviously dog hair, and I have short hair dogs. So I got 2 Weimaraners. But, the lab is mixed with a beagle, so that's kind of like medium.
Yeah.
But it picks up, and then on the weekends, it's a vacuum and it's a dust and a wipe down of everything. So it's not like it's sitting for days. But yes, definitely, animals do, and the animal traffic back and forth, and then the kid chasing them with the toy, and so
yeah.
But it's a lot easier. Some of the stuff, like a good example that I was like, I can't believe my one of my Nixie clocks that I have sitting on my desk, in between the tubes, the duster doesn't go between there, and when I was moving it, I'm like, oh, we'll just sit right here and we will wipe it down slowly so the dust doesn't go everywhere. So it's actually sitting right down there, chilling over there. So,
yeah, good old Nixie.
But yep. Oh man, I'm crooked now.
The thing that always gets me is the ceiling fans, right? Because they're always on here in Texas, and
yep, same here.
When they stop,
yeah. So one of the new ones that I bought, and I just put one in here because there was a chandelier in here, and so the new ones now come with blades that kind of help the dust build up on them. So when you clean them, it's a surface that's kind of like non-porous, and so you can get the dust off, and the dust doesn't build up on it. So it's pretty neat. So, but that just that dust sitting there reminds you to clean the whole fan. Yeah. So you still have to clean the other parts. So, but anyways, that's the same thing. I have a cabinet there, and now I understand why. I don't remember if it was Grimm or if it was who it was that was showing kind of where they had their mods, and it was like a curio cabinet where it had glass, and you opened it up, and then all the stuff was in there. And now, I mean, that would be perfect. To have, if you have a few addies and mods and stuff like that, to put them in there and close that, because that would keep any of the shit from, in the air, from getting on there. So, makes sense. But, I have a shelf that had, stuff on it. And,
speaking of homeowner stuff, I have to, I think I need to buy another fan. My guest room upstairs, my father-in-law is coming today to stay for a few days because he lives out of town. And I went up there, and my fan, which is also the main light in the room, of course, just wouldn't turn on. Like I don't know what the hell's going on, right? So I pulled out, and this was a mistake on my part. I bought this particular fan before I hung it, and it's got a remote. Like it's not really, you can't even control it from a switch. It's just got this wireless remote that embeds into the.
Is this the one in the guest room that I stayed in?
Yeah. Yeah, you remember that. So that little remote control. Yeah. I was like, okay, well, the light's coming on the remote, but the thing's not working. Of course, you toggle all the switches and stuff. I was like, oh, maybe even though the light's coming on, maybe I just need to swap the battery out. I pulled it out and looked at it, and the fucking thing's got what looks like a AAA, but it's only like half the length.
Yes, and it's 12 volt, right?
Is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 12 volt.
Fuck me. Anyway, I was really irritated. I'm actually that close to just ripping the whole fucking thing down and just hanging a new fan. Because I just would rather use the switches on the side. Who the hell needs a remote control? I thought it would be neat, and that would be like a both and, not either or kind of thing, right? I don't know. It was a pain in the butt. Plus, it was the little LEDs. It has LEDs built into it as opposed to having a bulb.
Check it out.
And the LEDs below ass. They suck. Real dim. Wait, what? Hold on. Let me click on you. You're not talking.
Hang on. There's my controller for the fan that's in my living room.
Yeah.
Check this thing out. It is a A23. Come on, focus.
Yeah.
Okay. And 12 volt. Hang on,
no shit.
Hang on. Man,
why would you use 12 volts in a tiny little remote control? That's weird.
Right there. 12 volt. 12V.
So I haven't bought it yet, but I guess that's good to know. I'll get the battery itself out and search on Amazon, but
yeah,
what a pain in the butt.
23A 12 volt. So yeah, that's weird. I don't know, man. And it has it right in there too. It says 12 volt. inside of the remote.
The housing, yeah. Oh, Rick says they've got them at Home Depot. Well, that's good to know.
The batteries, yeah. Yep.
That's good to know. Well, anyway, so enough of the DIY stuff. Well, I'm glad you're settled in your new place. You're probably going to have to figure out some way to like lock down your stuff, right? I mean, with the little monkey running around.
Yeah. So between the two rooms, there was a dog gate there, which is going to go back up. So that closes off these rooms, because then that room is going to end up being, the kids' playroom.
Right.
So what's going to happen eventually, hopefully, pretty soon, is from this wall here over to that wall will be closed off, and we'll have French doors just like the Yanksville Vapor, even in the same location in the house, facing west, so the sun beats on that window. Everything.
That's the way to go. You'll be hot as balls in the summer, but
trying to be like when I grew up. So what? And I even have the window behind me, and I am going to put the KKK lamp over here.
I'm sure my wife can tell yours where they can buy a KKK.
Yeah, I gotta put it right here, so it's right above my head, kind of like you have it, like right there.
It'll be actually might look good between that pillar and the door up there.
Oh yeah, sure. And now all I need is cases of Diet Coke to put over there on my table.
That's like step 4 for you, anyway.
Yeah.
Step 1 for me. Should I talk about? Let me talk about the RAM real quick. I have been thoroughly enjoying the RAM board, the legit version. I have not had a chance to play the retail one, of course, until these 3 got in, and so far it's been really, really good. It was tainted. My experience for a while there was tainted because I was using the Skydrop from eSmoke Guru, which
eSmoke Guru.
Yeah, it's one of the few things that I have kind of disagreed a little bit with Otato. I love Todd to death, but this thing, I can't put my normal single coil build in here for unregulated mods. It doesn't. It's not good. I don't think it's good at all.
Parallel 27 or a Robert coil.
Even a Robert coil, it's at the normal resistance, which is like 0.35 to 0.37 or so. That's where I've enjoyed vaping on a MOSFET or freehand. It sucks. It's really not good in this particular atomizer. I have found I had to pull a wrap off of one of Rob's coils and got it down to 0.29, and it's okay like that. And then over this last weekend, I dropped a parallel 25 in it. It was all right. It was clocking in at like 0.3.
What do you have to put the wattage at on that too?
Well, and that was all on the unregulated ones, right?
Yeah.
So on here, it was roughly, I was shooting for what I wanted to be is shooting for at that wattage 4 volts on the unregulated to try to do apples to apples until my freehands came back.
It never feels, you can never quite get it to feel the same on a regulated.
No, yeah, that's for sure. But even putting it on the unregulated, it still wasn't good. Like it was, I don't know what's different about this, because there's a lot to like about this atomizer. And there's nothing visually, besides the fact it's got kind of a big chamber, there's nothing visually to say, hey, this is why this sucks. But it's really not good like that. But I do have an update on that that we'll talk about in a few minutes, and you'll find out why instead of on one of my freehands, it's on the regulated mod. But I did want to show off the the old RAM hand because the Bliss, which you can't buy anymore, I know. Obviously, you can get you can get a Gloom whenever you want, which I like the Glooms a lot. You can get a Walnut whenever you want, which I love the Walnuts, and stabilized ones. This one is a white one where I think they had 2 runs of the Bliss, and he quit making them because I think this material was a pain in the ass for him to work with. But it does look really, really cool, so that's why I was happy to buy one on the second market. But unlike, whoa, hold on, what's going on over there?
I'm at the office.
You look like Casper in the office.
I don't know what's going on. That's my big old head.
That's crazy. So with the old, either mechanical or with MOSFET, it was no big deal. But when you put the RAM board in there, of course, it's got an LED in it. And the LED is only activated when you screw in a battery, just saying, hey, now we've got voltage, and when you lock or unlock it, right? Or if you short it, the light comes on there. But with most of the other ones, like the walnut or the gloom, you can barely check. You actually have to kind of tilt it up and see it around the bottle, or the bottle glows a little bit if it's dark enough. But that's not the case with the blue with the Bliss. So I thought I'd show it to you because it's kind of funny. Let me zoom in a little bit and close-ups. Boop. So with this guy, when you lock it, you get it's really hard to see here. I'll make it darker in here. There we go. All right, we'll try it.
Mo dark.
Yeah, we'll do Mo darker. All right, here we go. Ready? Tick tick tick. It lights up the whole body, which I find really humorous for some reason. It reminds me of E.T. Just like his heart light,
Yeah.
Cracked me up. I really like that, but don't worry about it. Yours will not do that because, well, you're probably not going to have it with us. But it did make me laugh. It's working great. And it, just like my experiences with the prototype, it is discharging like you're getting an enjoyable vape until you're not. And when you throw it on the battery, it's got like 3.5 volts left, which is lower than you're going to get out of a DNA 40 or most other boards. Yeah, Festy, the Ghost Provari Radius does the same thing. Provari, excuse me. I always say Provari because that's the way I always say it.
Provari.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It's kind of funny. So yeah. Anyway, so liking this a lot. I wanted to show you the little funny glowing thing. Again, it's not obnoxious. It only happens occasionally, and it'll never be like that with all the other ones. Now that said, though, oh crap, what's that newer one that he came out with? The one that's clear, the Pelokid. I don't remember. All I remember is I've been jokingly calling it the stripper heel version because it's just like this clear plastic. I can see how somebody might like that, but yes, yeah, done. Variable voltage.
Variable voltage.
Yes, Pellucid. I remembered the name. I just didn't remember how to spell it, Festy. Thank you for spelling it there for me. But anyway, so I suppose it would light up in that as well, but it's not like one of the China mods that'll be, crazy light shows and whatever. Just little flashes when you put the battery in.
So,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I was going to go into the next. I was going to kind of segue that.
Before you segue, I wanted to show. So, I've had this. Let me pull up my screen here so I can see. I've had this. Let me just preface. It's been awesome. Steel Series mouse pad. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I like your mouse pad, B.
Yeah, I think me and you got it at the same time. I don't remember. So, anyways, here is the old mouse pad, which I thought was big enough. Maybe a little too big, but starting to get frayed, and it was just I've washed it, and it just time to replace it, right? So I ordered the new one, $12-15 on Amazon, and this is what comes.
Oh shit, son!
Oh, you got the XXL.
I'm like, why? I guess here's the old size.
Yo, send that to me if you don't want it.
And then there's the Gigantor. I'll send you this if you want to buy it. I ain't giving it to you for free, sucker. But anyways, yeah. So now it's like I have this gigantic placemat on my desk. But anyways, yeah, nice.
It's not as thick, right?
No, it's the same.
Same thickness.
Is it the same size as our old build mats? They look like it looks like the same size.
Well, no, our build mat is what's back there, but no, it's the build mats are wider.
Yeah, because I've been looking at getting a bigger mouse pad myself.
I'll send you this one. I got the box.
Girth says it takes up his whole desktop mouse and keyboard. It's even better on that one.
That one's yeah. So here's the problem I have with that. Because of the dust and dog hair and stuff like that, that shit goes on it, and it is a pain in the dick to get it off of there, even when you're washing it. So the smallest size the better, because my desk I can just wipe down. So, but Ahmed, it's the Plus, so it's not even It's just a plus. So, but anyways, and another thing that I just realized recently, because I wanted to add another piece to my desk, is IKEA doesn't make the Gallant series desks anymore. They stopped making those a few years back. So they have a new set, but it's not the same. So
Is that the one that I ended up buying?
I'm pretty sure you have the same thing.
Yeah, I love this L desk, and I can't find any pieces for it. And my little triangle thing, since I sit in the crotch of the desk, I can't find the little triangle things anymore. This thing's like falling to pieces. It's gross.
What triangle thing are you talking about?
I've got a little, like, it's like a metal, rubber coated metal thing that's like shaped like a trapezoid.
Oh, that goes on the desk.
Yeah, that clips on top of like a desk surface.
Yeah.
And like it's coming off and it's fucking worn through. It's really gross.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this desk has a 10-year warranty on it, and I've never had any issues with it. And,
no, me either.
I have the L piece on the end that holds my desktop.
Yeah.
And I have this additional piece here, and I mean, it's been great. I actually just raised it up a little bit. I think that they were pushing their new stand-up desks now, so that this new, because their Gallant series was always the business series. Yeah. And I mean, there's articles and people pissed off and bring back the Gallant, all this stuff, because a bunch of startups back in 2014, 2015, 2014, I think, were up in arms because that was the desk to get, because it was relatively cheap compared to, if you own a business and you've looked at office furniture, fucking desks are ridiculous. Office furniture just overall is ridiculous. Like, we're looking at some cubicles right now. Oh my God. Anyways, so for, $1,000, for a desk like this is nice. You get a good amount of desk. So
for sure. Shane was just saying he got an L desk. L desks are great because I bought the extenders on both sides. So I've got, crazy amounts of room, which kind of sucks because it ends up getting a little cluttered, especially now that I vape. the whole vaping side is like just a clusterfuck over here. And this is not much better over on this side. I need to get through and clean up a bunch of stuff. But anyway, I do like the L desk. I just wish I could find another desk pad for them.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't mind buying another desk at some point if it's one of the ones. Does it motor up and down their stand desks?
Yes, it is motor up and down.
Oh.
Yeah.
I would consider changing out, and that would be hard to do. I'd have to go through and do a lot of weeding out of here to get that done, but
yeah,
that would be nice.
Yeah, because all of the legs will move, in tandem up and down. So I don't know if you can do additions to them, but so it's got all
most of the desks that motor up and down they're like standard, just rectangular desks. Most of them are not L desks.
So this is it is an L, but it's not a very big. It's not a big L. Okay. So like mine's an L, but you can't do the addition over here. It makes sense. This is the main part going up and down. So but better than to buy a stand-up desk without talking to Mrs. Stand-Up himself. So make sure you ping that one person that we used to know, the high horse under Devin.
I don't think was he able to set up his standing desk in his new place?
I'm not sure.
But he and I were talking about that. So a long time ago, and he ended up buying the one that I was looking at too. But since it was just a rectangle, I was just like, nah, I got too much stuff.
I bet you that thing was some bitch to move too.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I think out of all of you, I think I have the smallest desk.
Thank God that this thing fit through the doors, because the room that it went into, I built it in, even though it's got French doors, it still has to go out of another normal doorway. So luckily the legs were just at the right height, and I think it was like 28 inches and fit through. So, but yeah, that, and I don't have the sliders, but those, I got these sets of plastic sliders. Man, those things, if you're moving and you're on carpet, tile, don't matter. You just put the stuff on there and just push it. Goes. So to bring us back to vaping for a moment, because we got Nathan, he's like, I was told there's going to be ECR drama. Yeah.
Before we get there, I did get some vape mail this last week, and by this last week I mean today, and that was this. So this is InnoWire, which is not new. This has been out for at least at least a year. I feel like I saw it a while back when it came out. But one of the things that made me want to try it was Mr. Will in chat here said that he ended up buying some and tried it with Replay. And said it was really, really good. Now, this little thing is the trick. If you've never seen InnoWire, I'll zoom in and show you visually what the gig is here. Is you can see there's the wire, and the thing is it's stainless wire, but it's got a hole in the middle of it, and that is ostensibly to help it heat up and cool down faster. So you've got a larger outer diameter, which is the diameter obviously that's hitting your juice, but it acts more like a smaller diameter is the idea. Interesting idea, and I never bothered jacking with it because I didn't really like stainless wire that much to vape on. But with the advent of with Replay, okay, I'll give it a shot. Now this little thing is 5 meters, I think. Yeah, 5 meters, and it was like $13. So crazy expensive compared to Canthal, that's for sure. But the neat thing about it is I bought the 24 gauge, and 24 gauge is obviously rather sturdy. So I would expect that you could, take a 5 or 6 inch length of it, make yourself a coil. It's probably going to last you quite a while, right? So it's not like 5 meters won't last quite a long time. So it's not that big of a deal. It's one of those things that it seems like a large amount of money until you just realize how far it's going to go. Yeah, look out, Nathan. That's right. So I did throw a coil onto the old Clunkmaster 5000 and then put it in the Skydrop, which is what I've had kind of mixed success with. And I got to say, this last hour or two, once I kind of got past the old stainless break-in, and I still do get a little metallic-y taste, but even with that has changed this atomizer a lot. And Will has told me that he agreed with me that unregulated, it kind of sucks. It's not the best Addy, but he said it's a regulated Addy. So I did buy the InnoWire. I have been trying it this afternoon, and it is pretty decent. I'll report back next week after I've had a little more time with it. But I did want to mention it that I'm giving that a shot. But initial testing is pretty positive, man. Pretty cool. It's real warm as opposed to the way it normally is. It's vaping better. It's just a little bit better. Still don't like that little metal-y thing I get though. But hopefully, maybe that'll go away. Sometimes it does with stainless, like after it kind of breaks in, because it's not like stainless Claptons, which is, in my experience, worse for me because it seems like all those wraps, it never quite gets rid of that metal-y thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Shane, it does suck that it's stainless. It would be nice if it didn't, but if it wasn't stainless, then it wouldn't work with Replay, right? So, there's that. See if I missed anything else while I was running my mouth. I don't think so. Good. Talking about StarCraft. Solid.
Yeah.
All right, Master, you want to go talk about that thing you want to talk about?
No, it's too early for that garbage. It's
Way too early. It's almost 10 o'clock. It's like almost prime time for
Well, check chat. Well, I'm having to do some serious editing over here on my end for some of these pictures, so I need a little bit more time.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, we can start talking about it now, honestly. So basically, if you visit ECR, if you've been there, we always, pull news and cool stuff and all that stuff. And we really started, when we started with Plumes was bringing a small audience, which we're back to. Things that the community wanted to see. We wanted to do a show for the people, and
Well, it was levity too. It was we want to bring some laughs because it seemed like vaping was just fucking lame and people bitching all the time.
Yep. And so ECR was a great place. I mean, back at that time, I'm thinking it was like what, maybe 10, 11,000 people.
It was a bunch of for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about like 5 to 10,000. I don't remember, but now the group is up to 161,000 people, and that has, I guarantee you, sharply dropped within the last few months. We've had a few of the admins on the show that are no longer admins that have stepped down, and there's been a lot of issues with the group itself. Okay, and a lot of people will say, "Oh, well, I don't go on Reddit, blah blah this and that," and that's fine. You have both sides. You have people that hate going on Facebook and Facebook groups. So, we'll try to put information everywhere. I've been posting on ECR for ages. I think my first post was like 6 years ago on ECR specifically. So it's just another forum, another place. I think. I don't know, Angsty and Fu. I mean, when do you think things really started changing? It was way before the whole FDA, thing happened.
Yeah,
I think there was a lot of stuff going on with Reddit itself.
Well, I
at
feel
a higher level.
Well, yeah, there was that, but I mean, for me personally, I started to feel, I guess, out of touch with the user base, probably like mid 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Late, but I mean, there are always times where it's like cool. There's like every so often there's a good post, but yeah. And then because the thing is, it ended up becoming very like vendor spammy and shit.
Yeah.
And then they had to clamp down on that,
right,
naturally, and then that was not well received. And some of us were able to get around that.
What people also need to understand is we're talking about at a point in time. Again, a lot of these things have changed now, but a point in time where being part of that community, being a vendor, being a someone who might have not even thought that they were a vendor and became a vendor. We're talking DB liquids, lab rat liquids, Bombies, Vapor Chef. I mean, you name it was, were small mom and pop shops, were single run, companies, people who were mixing, modders. I mean, everything that just because of a piece from the Reddit, subreddit in the group, grew into the companies that they became. Mount Baker Vapor was in there too. Yep. So a lot of
Gremlin.
Gremlin.
Yeah.
Blue. What's the guy's name? Shit. That was like that blue guy's name.
Well, Vape Kitchen also.
Vape Kitchen. Yep.
Vape Kitchen, Vapor Chef. Bombies.
Yep. And even some of the people that we've had on the show, Project 2501 with doing reviews. Vaporator with his reviews and his site, stuff like that grew into Juice DB, doing all that stuff. Us together as a group, even before Reddit was there as a place and a hangout, it was back in the Ike and Has chat days, where we met. I mean, we're talking years ago. Well, that small, tight knit community, and this, I think it's for everything that's been related to vaping. We're talking about juice makers, companies. We're talking. It got to the point to where people like Inakin and Evolve and everybody were coming to Reddit because it was a little bit different than some of the other vaping groups.
Vaping hadn't manifested on Facebook yet.
Correct, on Facebook or in other websites, and I think. It grew up, it blew up, and a lot of companies were called out, and again, here's transparency, because we are not about, hiding shit or deleting anything or going back on stuff. If we ever, we've tried really good, if we've ever done a show and we've said something, first of all, our users are going to point it out, and there'll be a comment in the YouTube video, but we'll go back and we'll say, hey, we said this, and here's an example. CloudMaker. When we had CloudMaker on the show, they started on Reddit, kind of at small, and they said, hey, we're going to build this device and we're going to do pre-order. I said it. I don't really believe in the pre-orders. I don't like that. That's taking someone's money. And
he was in a hangout before that, mind you.
Right. He was in a hangout, so we had talk, and things like that, where they were on the show, and we've had vendors that's happened with. We'll be the first one to say, hey, we had these people on, and you got to see exactly what we got to see. So you be the judge. Are they delivering a product? Not. So a lot of that, this is kind of like a background into, where Reddit, that subreddit started, ECR, and where it went into. And then at a certain point, it's split off into, modding. So all the mods and stuff like that went to a mod group, and the main ECR, I guess I should say page was hand checks, and people doing that. And hey, that was, I guess, fine for a while, and then they started cracking down on that. And fast forward to now, it's really nice to have someone like, for example, Mooch, that can post his links to his videos, and basically the best way in social media that you can get this information out, right? Not everybody does Facebook, not everybody does other vaping forums. Nobody, a lot of people don't do necessarily YouTube, or follow us. So you have all these places to put this stuff. And I believe that for the longest time, and this is kind of like history rewriting itself, we had, there was a mod, which I guess we can call him Winder, the Winder Gate happened. And this guy literally had a meltdown. A couple shows ago, we talked about, what's his username? I keep forgetting. That's doing the history of ECR.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, I don't remember his name.
So we talked about it on the show where he's doing a history of VCR, and he goes through, the live Vapor Chef meltdown. Probably shouldn't be doing all this talking. The live Vapor Chef meltdown that happened on Reddit and other social media and on Facebook, and people just losing their shit on there. And the reason is because you can go and move that comment up and down and vote. And so people see, and you delete the stuff, and now there's a site that pretty much catalogs everything that happens there. So even if a mod goes in and deletes it, it's still there. So fast forward to a few months ago, 6 months ago, two of the mods, for whatever reasons, decide, hey, we're going to step down. There's new mods that are coming in, and these guys apparently have been running things a little and rubbing people the wrong way. And you can say, okay, it's, why are we talking about this high school drama, this and that? But remember, this was, a core group of, users online that had no other outlet to communicate. Because even back, 2012, 2013, the Facebook groups weren't there. Facebook was like, no, you can't have this group, you can't have that. So places like this took off, and it's kind of sad to see, the state of this. So,
well, I mean, it's always fine for a new, regime to come in and change stuff around a little bit, and because everybody's going to run things differently, and that's fine. But to something that I guarantee you Will is already thinking. To me, anyway, historically, like back when we first started, ECR was one of those places on Reddit that wasn't like filled up with dummies. Like it truly felt like a place for people to come that were smoking and were trying to get into some harm reduction stuff and figure out how to vape and figure out how to build. And it was pretty grassrootsy, so to speak. I mean, and it wasn't just shitty. And you fast forward to now, and you've got if you look at the sidebar, now, let me get in there. One of the no hate speech is part of it. It's like I can't even come up with all this kind of crap. It's nuts. It's absolutely insane how these guys think that this is an okay.
Well, and
zero tolerance policy on hate speech. No warning given before ban.
Let me tell you a story all about how ECR got turned upside down. Okay. But the thing is, we got our start there. At the end of the day, like, we came from there, and while we may like lose touch with the user base and all that other shit, the least we could hope is that everything's like civil there at least, and not like turning to shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's fucking saddening. But anyway, yeah, we got our start there, and like so many other companies have, and so Dong Magnum, Senor Dong, who's been on the
show.
He's co-hosted this shit before. He's a real person, and there are people in ECR who don't think he's a real person.
Yep.
Word. Yeah, he's a real fucking living being. No, we hired someone to play him on the show, but so he stepped down, right?
Yeah.
As mod, he was a mod for how long? No, you're in chat. How long were you a mod for? A long time, like at least what, a year,
and
maybe less.
He's in chat right now too. So
yeah, he was a mod for a while. He was good at his job, and
did a lot of work.
The funny thing is, him being mod, kind of, I guess. Yeah, I was just like, all right, I have hope for ECR,
right?
Because he could be an objective individual.
And Jay too. Jay did a good job when he was a mod.
Yeah.
When was Jay a mod?
No, I don't think he was.
Mm-mm.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think he was.
I don't think he wanted to be because he was launching Bigglesworth Labs.
Yeah, conflict of interest. So you're a vendor, and that kind of really put a tweak on on things in the group, was when you had so much spam from certain vendors that it was just taking up, the page. And, we all know this. It literally felt like the digital version of being at a convention, at a vape convention, and having bottles of juice thrown at your face from the stage. and it was literally just shit juice, just getting over and over and over. So these companies that had been in there for a while, and some of the mods got together and said, look, we have to do something about this. Look, let's make it simple. If you are a company and you want to post here, here's small rules. Hey, you got to be a member of the community. Don't just come and post your shit. Contribute to the community, answer questions, talk about things, go in the DIY subreddit, and, post stuff and help people out, and have some kind of, hey, for every sales post that you make, I think it's, what was it, have 9 other relative posts within the sub. And again, people who are watching this and who are in this or in the thick of this shit, if we get something wrong, please let us know. But it's not perfect, and we don't know every side of the story of this. And so, go ahead, Ahmed, and continue with where Dong went.
So prior to Dong being a mod, he had a posting series, right? I think it was before him becoming a mod.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Called the Fast Tech Digest.
Mm-hmm.
It was he did it weekly, right?
I think at first, yeah.
It was
for a while he was posting it weekly, and basically he'd post a series of deals on various vape stuff on Fast Tech. I think he threw in miscellaneous items too.
Yeah,
it was awesome. It was quite humorous, his variety of stuff. Then he stopped doing that, became a mod, and modded ECR. He said for about a year. and he stepped down. So not only was he mod, someone else that we'd known from previous. What the hell's his name?
Yeah, he said it was weekly for 6 months and occasional sex toys.
Yes, the sex toys. Yes. So sorry, I've been used to the current iteration.
Right.
The Fast Tag Digest. So yeah, he did that. You know, I feel like we should just fucking bring him on to tell the story.
Yeah. Well, so I'll show. I'll go ahead and show one of the images. And again, I have to
sex
be,
toys now.
I have to be
mods. So
I have to be really. I'll put a picture up, and I'll have to be really careful because, you know, this thread has been locked, and for all we know, the mods might be watching this, and they could just decide to fucking ban Mass Blast 09, someone who's been a contributing person in here for years, and if they want to do that, go fuck yourselves. But here's basically what you know. Well, can finish the story, Ahmed, so that way you can segue into that.
Long story short, like Dong had stepped down as a mod, as did Virus, or at or around the same day. They'd stepped down. The problem is having a derelict head mod, which is known as Linda, who just let in a slew of mods in from another subreddit. And apparently things have been fucking miserable over there. That aside, this past week, Senor Dong was just banned from ECR.
Surprise!
It really did. It hit him as a surprise. You know why? Because he hasn't been active. He hasn't been active in there in a while.
Right.
So he's like, you know, like fucking. What's his name? John Travolta looking around in Pulp Fiction.
Mm-hmm.
That was Dong. He's
Yeah.
He got no explanation as to his ban. Was citing some kind of behavior that they're not willing to validate, claims, provide evidence, whatever. It upset Virus enough, the whole situation, because it came up. It ended up becoming a thing in a couple of threads. Someone asking about it. And
yeah, and it was during this whole time. I don't want to interrupt your story, but during this whole time, people are making posts that are getting deleted.
Oh yeah.
Okay. They're making posts just asking question. Hey, what happened? What's going on? You know, we hate to see these guys leave, and now, you know, so continue.
Yeah, so that happened, and so basically the questions are, you know, being toned down. It upset Virus enough, the situation, that he wrote a post, an open letter to the mods.
Yep, and there's the image. You can read it. Just read it.
And not to mention, new mods came in with full permissions, like which are more permissions than mods that have seniority over them. So there's some shit going on.
The post read, and here's an open letter to the mod team. I'm sure the current mod team would rather this be sent privately to them, but I feel I need to stand up for Dong on this. As some of you may know, a previous moderator, Dong Magnum, was permanently banned from ECR, citing appalling behavior. Now, I know Dong personally, and I can say that there is nothing to back up these claims. The mods have been silent on provoking proof, despite claiming they have it. On top of this, user Pacifier was also banned in the same day. I don't know if there was some personal vendetta, or he was definitely active in ECR in the past time as a moderator, and seems to be without reason. Well, I mean, no offense to the new batch of mods, but my message to the mods is this: if you want to keep an active community around here, trust and transparency is a must. Obviously, I can't tell you how to run the sub, but as a former mod here myself, seeing such heavy-handed actions without proper reasoning just makes me sad. We don't want a sequel to Wiender. You can ban me if you want, but frankly, that would just prove my point. And that thread was literally posted 1 day ago. So that was, I mean, I would say 24 hours. And my goodness, the mod in question went in and was literally just having some really bad conversations with people in this thread, because people are like, what's going on? One of the comments, said these mods have been power tripping since they started. I'm not even remotely surprised Pacifier stepped away from that role with these clowns act. It's a fucking forum about e-cigs. It's pretty straightforward. Another person saying, whoa, Pacifier and Dong were both banned. And, so a lot of people started seeing that these people who were mods, who were part of the community, who were, bringing stuff to the community, were just, they stepped down on their own, but then, were banned. And I'll just read one last thing. I'll read top comment, from Project 2501. He says, I'm more than a little disconcerted with some of the mods actions I'm seeing being taken in this thread and specific comments being removed. So as people were commenting, the comments themselves were being deleted. And the reason we know that now is because what's the name of the site that has all the stuff that's deleted?
No, there's bunches of them, but one of them was deleted it or something like that. I forget.
Yeah, deleted it. So there's a lot of sites that'll show you active threads and what's being deleted, so you can actually see what was there. So kind of the conversation makes sense. He says, mods, your job is not to control what people see, and as far as I know, there are no rules against insulting or criticizing the mod team. Attempting to shape the discussion by hiding things and removing comments, which might make you look bad, never ever works. So after he writes that, I mean, this is going, people are commenting, people are posting, stuff is getting deleted. And there are, multiple accounts that you can go and look at this yourself. Accounts that have been around for 4 to 5 years in this subreddit started posting. Now, one of the mods starts saying, "Hey, these are secondary accounts that people have, and that's against the rules,"
which is bullshit.
Which is bullshit, and you're right. You're not subverting any kind of ban or anything like that by using a throwaway account. If you have a throwaway account, you can use on there.
That's Reddit. That's like Reddit.
Exactly. So you have people like Lazy Pancake, which is one of the users. You have people like Massive Cock. That's another one. You have people like, I even just saw. I didn't even see the post, but I saw a user that replied to Chuff, Merit Monkey. These are people who were in this.
That was the most out of left field person Chuff told me. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, and these are people who the reason we're talking about this is because this is there was a lot of help and a lot of coaching and a lot of free help giving to users back in the day when all of this started. People were vaping on egos, people were vaping on Cleros and auto tanks and stuff like that. This is where it all started. It's not as easy as now, where these great kits that you can go out and get now. Vape Dojo was like about the first one that came out with the, starter kit. If you remember that, back in the day, none of this existed. None of the China mods were here. It was a lot harder to have that passion to help someone get off, cigarettes with a mod that you had, because they looked at this thing like, why are you, sucking off a flashlight? So a lot of these people helped, newcomers coming in asking questions. I remember when there was a Reddit article from ECR that made it to the front page of Reddit, which is huge because it was the number 1 most traveled site on the internet. So people were seeing this, and this was good. This was good for the sub. And these are people who, because of how things, just stopped posting. So now that they go back in and start posting, you start seeing that some of these mods are like, oh, well, these must be, people who have created these accounts to help themselves in the sub.
Sure, and they're threatening to go and look up their to track back, the IPs of the alts, to track them back to their regular, their full-time IDs, so they can get them all banned. Like Homeboy was threatening all kinds of stuff. It was bullshit.
He was acting independently. Like, he told no one that he was going to do it, and he just went. And here's the thing: that mod is the most reported user in ECR, like, ever.
Right.
And I've heard that from multiple mouths.
Yeah.
Multiple mouths have said that. And
The
he's somehow ended up a mod.
The post that got me last night when I was watching this thing was from a user whose name is Fish Squatch Blaze, and this is the totality of his comment is, this is the smallest amount of power gone to anybody's head ever, and it's true. It's absolutely nuts how somebody or somebodies, I don't know how many people are involved in this, but these guys that are trying to lock down something that should be there to help people, and they're trying to.
That's how I found it in the first place.
Threaten people, and then somebody in the chat was talking about they were threatening coming back and tracking down somebody and threatening his job.
Yeah,
like
and even a user by the name of ECR Police posted this. It was a copy paste from, I guess, one of the admins. So I will need to have one of the admins check your IP. Now, mind you, when he's talking about this, it's not like these mods have access to check your IP and see where a person's posting for. This is a request that they have to make to the actual Reddit admins, not these, lower, mods that we're talking about. So it's a big
right.
deal.
But all you got to do with the way Reddit's run now, all you have to do is say I'm a sub or I'm a mod for this 160,000 subreddit, and I need to know this because he's got hate speech, and I need to be able to find all his alts. I mean, it's like that surely would be just stamped because Reddit is cancer these days. Yeah,
and it is. I mean, I see some people posting on the chat, vape drama, yes. But the reason, we're bringing it up is because some of the stuff that happened there was funny. And some of the stuff can actually impact people because there are still numerous new users that, because they do a Google search, because they do a search online, a lot of these responses are going to come from Reddit because it's so high up in the rankings on the sites versus, you're not going to be able to do a search and find something in a Facebook group that's locked. You're not going to be able to get a search on something that's in a forum that's locked. So the reason we bring this up is because, yes, it's vape drama, but it's actual stuff that can affect, actual good users from posting, for example, like Mooch, posting stuff like that, that people can see, people can link to, people can say, hey guys, look at this, or look, my Voopoo drag. You could just search Voopoo drag fire. There's been like 15 people posting on there. So it's actually something that does affect, I believe, at least in a small part, the vaping community. Even though it's, it's all, virtual and it's electronic. I still think, they can, when people are searching and they're going to the site, it'd be a lot nicer to have the information than not have the threads and stuff.
Josh is asking about this whole who started this drama thing. To me, this is less drama and more a question of being able to speak freely in a place that's supposed to be safe and supposed to be open, and you be able to speak your mind and try to recover from an addiction. Like having this sort of draconian,
it's like I'd rather complain about the products that people on ECR like anything that has lights and fucking lame colors, I'd rather make fun of ECR for that than oh hey, this group does not have their shit together whatsoever.
And Anxie has a great point because there are, with 160,000 people, there are a lot of people in there that have gone through the same thing someone can be going through right now, which is trying to break an addiction, trying to, and a lot of the times, they want to be able to feel free to be able to, type that and, not have someone say, oh, well, this doesn't really go with this week's wild hair up our ass. So we're going to delete that post, So with that, while the mods were having to deal with all that and this thread that just spiraled out of control, by the way, the thread is now locked. So you cannot, you cannot add anything. You cannot upvote, downvote anything. So as all that was going on, someone decided to post a picture because the main mod that was in there deleting comments made a comment that read, let me make sure I get this right. His comment read, he was replying to somebody, it helps keep the children at bay. He was talking about, I believe, deleting some of these comments. Plus, occasionally, it leads to some hilariously awful moments, like a recent one about someone getting a paperclip stuck in their penis. Okay? that's what this mod replies to somebody. So apparently somebody decided to post this.
Oh no!
And,
God.
and that is a paperclip with a free dong, free pasa,
Short for pacifier.
picture on there. So
I'm so glad
carefully
you pixelated that very well. Thank you.
carefully pixelated. One more time.
You posed that like, oh god.
Trust me, I took some time doing that.
Dong asked, is that an 8.5
So
by 11 piece of paper?
But anyways, there were a lot of accounts that were banned that night. I mean, and a lot of them you won't know about. So, you know, the reason we're hearing about these was because we had a lot of friends in the sub, and these people are people who have been there for a long time, and they might not post there every day. So when a mod saw them posting and their account hadn't posted in 3 years, in 2 years, you know, it was questioned, and they were banned. So, you know, figured here at the Plumes we're all about being transparent, so we put that out there, put the story out there. So, and if any of the mods would like to come on the show and talk about it, you're welcome to.
Yeah, you funny man.
But you will be signing a clause saying that you can't ban us for doxing you for having you in real life. So
I think
There you
come
go.
on, just
You
does
could
their
sign
duty.
these notes.
Mm-hmm. So
Anyway,
and again, there was a whole bunch of other stuff that happened, but that was kind of like the condensed version, if you can believe it, for 26 minutes of talking. So there you go.
Josh Harper asked, Masty, holy moly, where's the unedited version, Masty?
Yeah. The unedited version is, I will link directly to that thread right there. Hit the chat.
Click that at your own risk, FYI. I am going to bring us back to vaping real quick before we get out of here. And this is something that I mentioned a little while back that I was pleased to see happen. Old Omen, the guy who makes my favorite drip tips, has come out with a version 2 of the Uno for the billet box. The other day he posted this, which is a bunch of bases that he's making. There are, from the way I understand it, it's still not 5% threaded, which is kind of a bummer, to be perfectly honest. But he's doing away with the threads between the two halves. It's just making them press fit, which should make it a little bit easier to assemble, which is cool. But if you want to grab one, they are $55. And of course, they're, because it's Omen, you know it's going to be titanium and all those sort of junk. So I'll put the link in chat for you to pick one up if you're interested. It's been it is difficult. If you've got a billet box, it's not the easiest to find an atomizer. In my opinion, the best one that's out there is no longer made, the Exoset from Hellfire. The Vape Shell is pretty good and not terribly expensive. There's the Insider, which is not. Insider is just a little bit finicky for build, in my opinion. But if you nail it, it's really, really good. And of course, if you like the pre-built heads, you can get any of the bridges, right? There's a mouth-to-lung bridge for the Nautilus coils, and there's a bridge for the Kanger coils and all that kind of crap. Like they exist, but you have to kind of chase down an atomizer as opposed to, you know, like a dripper, right? There's a million of them out there. But the Uno is one that's been around for a long time. One of the very first rebuildables. In fact, I think it was the second one that I had. The first one was Irk's Addy, the Siluro. I had a home. Well, that was a long time ago. This is basically a rebuildable Cardo, and I've got actually on the channel. I'm pretty sure I've got a review of the original Uno, and this is going to function basically the same way. So if you're interested, there's a link. Christian, congratulations on your Exoset, buddy. I hope it does well for you.
Yeah, boy.
I think that think that does it for my news. Got the funny quote from Fish Squatch Blaze. Talked about the ram hands. My first little mention of InnoWire, Uno V2. I think that's about it. It's a long show tonight.
So, I know I got a message about the Vupu drag posts, and I wanted to cover that you know real quick. So here is the excuse the
Oh, I hear a dog drinking water.
Yeah. She's not snoring, she's drinking water. So here is one of the pictures from the users that posted the first Vupu drag.
Oh shit. Ooh.
Yeah, and here is the other one, and notice the trend here. Look at where this thing's getting hot and melting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, see this down bottom left. So
were they charging it at the time?
I'm not sure. So the
Probably where the
first
charging
one,
board is, isn't it?
the first one says, oh, and of course, the first fucking comment is by Psycho Phantom, the great moderator. Normally, I would mark this as spam. However, I've been seeing more that. Fuck you, dude. Don't fucking mark this as spam.
Normally I mark
Piece
this
of
as
shit.
spam, but
This is the kind of shit. Anyways, so this one here, basically, you know, I believe he doesn't say if he was charging his or not. No, I mean, well, actually, he says make sure your battery wraps are good and that there's nothing gunking up the charging port. I'm sure what happened to mine was a freak occurrence. So most people are saying don't use a charging port. It's bad for your device.
freak occurrence. I'd say they got a freak show going on at this point.
Yeah, and this one, the person said, let's see if they were charging it or not. This was literally 3 days ago. The other one was 4 days ago. Okay, that person just posted the image, and yeah, so a lot of them are saying it's he says, I threw it out pretty quickly due to the smell. This was 2 months ago, and I wasn't thinking ahead of time. I tried to pull the battery out, but it was melted onto the box. I'm assuming the plastic coating is what stuck them together. I own a separate charging port. I own a separate charging port, so I almost never use the micro USB port. Okay, so he must be charging his batteries. So there you go. So this one wasn't an actual charging port issue. So
I was just guessing
people,
because of the location of the damage.
Some people are saying, did you leave your mod outside in the porch to collect moisture? He said, this person was saying, and you know, do you usually use the port? You know, he said no. So another person said, hey, mine blew up, but I dropped it from about 10 feet up and the battery sled cracked. So I won't blame that on them. So there you go. You know, keep an eye on that. I know I mentioned it in our comment, but see, things like this is really what you want, you know, in this group. I mean, I'll stop ranting, but you know, people need to know about that shit.
You've got a mod that is seemingly got a habit of blowing up. Yeah, that's not something you want to mark as spam, dumbass.
Of course. There you go.
Wait, may I reiterate that he's the most reported user in
Right.
VCR?
For
being for being a shithead.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this was before becoming a mod too. So
Like
nothing new there.
was like a taint hair away from a permaban.
Yep.
So let's give them full perms. Is that Dong was just joking about
Full perms, you say?
Dong was just joking about nobody's beat the NX Cardo for the billet box. Boop. This is still sitting over there. I haven't gotten around to using that one. I had another one that I used a good bit. If you like to fuck with mesh, if you like mesh and you like mouth along, it'll do it.
Mesh vape's great. Just fuck dealing with it.
Yep.
Yes, Josh, I definitely have used the Dakota's board. I do not personally like it, mostly because of see, the thing is, being a geeky sort of person, I really like having fine control of stuff, but the interface that you jack with the decodes or dicodes or however you want to say it is a pain in the dick. I didn't like using it. I didn't like the fact that you had to adjust it in different granularity depending on how many watts it was. The whole thing was convoluted for the sake of being convoluted, in my opinion. It doesn't vape poorly, but to me, give me eScribe any day. Decodes was it was interesting when they first came out before eScribe was a thing. It was interesting, but still kind of clunky, and even the first version of eScribe, which was buggy and low on features, was still a million times better, in my opinion.
All right.
But yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, vape's fine. Vape's fine.
All right.
Hero says the interface has been improved upon. Okay, that's fine. It's still a button mashing. Yeah. If it doesn't do what I want it to do, which is real fine 0.1 watt adjustment, it doesn't like Evolve anymore. Yeah. What? I heard you whispering, but I couldn't hear you.
Said he doesn't like Evolve anymore, remember?
Oh, that's right. He doesn't like Evolve anymore. The Dakota, that's true, Will. The Dakota does have that as a leg up. The size of even the higher wattage ones. It is a small board. That's cool. That is cool. But no, I wasn't impressed with the fact that it's AC. Okay. To me, it didn't change how it vaped. In fact, I didn't think it improved at all. Yeah. But as an alternative, sure. I mean, competition is great, right? I don't want to ever see them go away. I just don't particularly prefer them.
No, you just make them disappear, like that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think it's cool to have competition, and they're probably one of the very few that are still around, button up against Evolve. So yeah, more power to them. I hope they continue to succeed and improve their product. I think it's cool. Yeah. Oh, of course, there's Yeehee. I should have mentioned that as well. Mentioned that as well. But Yeehee's probably always been it hits real hard, and the boards are huge. Yeehee's got some cons as well.
They're going to be in Miami at the Miami Vapor Expo. I think this weekend or next weekend. So they got a bunch of their new mods actually look kind of interesting. They're stab wood, and they have the small board on the front of the tube. I believe I have a picture of it. And I think the only problem is I think they only have a few. If this is correct, this is what they look like. Put this up on the screen. These were posted by Veritube. There you go, stab wood.
I think you showed that particular mod off before, but I don't think it was stab wood initially, right?
Yeah, this is the SL class, which is a hybrid stab SL class made and assembled here in the U.S. They're going to be at the Miami World Vapor Expo. And you can pick these up. So all kinds of different colors.
I'm curious how big those are.
Yeah, interesting looking.
They're definitely interesting looking. Yeah.
So
I haven't had one since the old S class or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Actually, so there's one in hand. Let's see. Here's a picture of another one. I believe it's the same. This obviously isn't a stab wood one, but there it is. And there's the front and the screen and the button layout. So.
Duro said the new function on the E is you can control your drone with your mod. They do tend to, I don't know. At least there's no flashlight and like vape color lights shooting out the top, like some of the Chinese stuff coming out. Ugh.
Yeah.
Anyway,
all right,
let's get the hell out of here.
Do it.
Thank you, everybody, for joining for this week's Plumes of Hazard. I really do appreciate you guys coming out and tolerating a little bit of our railing against draconian jerkbags. And also talking a little bit about knives and vaping stuff. Join us next week. We'll be right back here at Monday. Same Plumes time, same Plumes channel. Thanks, everybody. Peace.
Good time.